So, hi guys, here we are, MMA UK News, Stoomboy, as always, MMA UK BJJ show. So, talking about MMA, so we're going to be heading over to the Glen Pavilion in Dunfermline this Sunday, the 14th of August. So, it's going to be Goliath Fight Series. Now, um, an awesome event. I mean, we're talking about, again, I keep saying this, we're talking about, especially in Scotland, I mean, we've got some of the best amateurs around at the moment, as we've seen. So, again, from gyms all over Scotland. So, and the amateur scene at the moment in Scotland seems to be the best it's ever been. And as I say, we've got guys who, male and female, at different ages and different levels and stuff like that, just absolutely tearing the scene up at the moment. So obviously Goliath are going to display some of that talent this Sunday. So we're going to have obviously people from all over Scotland, people from North of England coming up as well, going to be taking on some of these guys. So it's going to be an awesome event. Now, tickets, anybody looking for tickets, head over to Goliath Fight Series Facebook page. You'll be able to get your tickets directly from them. And anybody that can't make the event on the evening, there is going to be pay-per-view. So again, head over to the Goliath Fight Series and you'll get the information directly from them. So now my next guest is going to be on the show that night. So Scott Drummond of Crown and Glory MMA. Going to be up against Dan Bainbridge, should I say, of TFT. Now, absolute fantastic matchup. Obviously, Scott's been in the game for a while. I called him one of the OGs. So definitely one of the OGs. He goes back to a time when MMA.
Another word for an OAP.
But back in the time, I mean, like obviously when you first started out, I mean, MMA was very, very different back in the day to what it is now.
Yeah, it's totally different. I mean, if somebody was to take a fight and of my ability when I first started, they would look in the cage and you think, what are they doing in there? They should not be anywhere near a cage. So it's come a long, long way in the time that I've been doing it.
Yeah. And obviously watching Chris at the moment as well. Obviously, Chris Duncan, obviously one of your teammates, obviously again headed over, won his contract for the UFC, obviously last week. So an awesome thing for obviously you guys.
It's massive, yeah. It's massive. Just especially for like for the younger guys and stuff as well, especially seeing that, this you can actually do it. You can, if seeing how hard Chris works and what actually is put into it.
Yeah.
Or to be able to get to the top, then it's right there for them to see. So they know what they need to do. So he's he's led the way for them. So
yeah. And just to say as well, Chris stole your limelight tonight.
Yeah, what's this all about? Been pushed back from by Stevie Ray and then Chris Duncan and then and then me.
Because we had the prime time slot, the 8 o'clock slot, and then obviously Chris, but Katie Hunter, who's interviewed Chris at the moment, just saying Chris Duncan said you've saved the best till last tonight. So
something like that, yeah.
But yeah, it's an awesome gym. I remember I've been up a couple of times. Obviously, come up seeing the guys. Obviously, quite pally with young Yusuf. So obviously, we sponsor him through the show and stuff like that, through the MMA UK BJJ show. Again, because he was young, I remember I seen Yusuf at his debut at Evolution of Combat. We spoke about the equestrian centre. So I remember seeing him, and obviously I remember talking to him, and he was saying, "Oh, I've got no sponsors," and then so as time went on, obviously he was building up his experience, and I said, "Well, do you know what? Obviously through the show, we'll sponsor you for a year." Do you know what I mean? And then and it's and we've got him looking nice. He's looking nice with the top
We're all
on.
looking nice. We've all got the t-shirts.
You've all got them. But he's looking good, and then he's got some shorts coming in a couple of weeks before the next one as well. So
he's really excited about these shorts as well.
So he's looking good. He's looking good. He's definitely in the part.
He's some boy,
He's a huge talent as well. Do you know what I mean? Really, really good talent. I know. I spoke to him the last time. He did, obviously unfortunately, obviously had the loss, and he was taking it quite bad. And I'm like, listen, that's what happens. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like nobody's going to go. I know Khabib was the exception. Do you know what I mean? Going on 29-0, but at some point, everybody loses. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, he'll come back. I know he's fighting at the end of the month, so he'll come back even stronger. So,
He will.
uh,
He will.
yeah,
He's another one. He trains just like Chris.
yeah.
He's. I don't think I've. In fact, no, I don't think I've been in that gym or like over the last year when he's not been in it. He's pretty. He's pretty much. He just lives in it. You know?
Yeah, I turned up on I think it was a Sunday. I turned up and he was in the gym with all the younger guys than him. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And he was the big dog in the gym, and he was obviously showing them all the moves and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And he
he's
was,
really good. He's really good with them as well. And I was actually talking to Adam Thompson about this as well. It's like I actually think it helps his game too because
yeah,
he's able to take his time and really drill the techniques and stuff like that. But at the same time, he's taking a whole a good 4 or 5 of them under his wing, and
yeah,
he's actually a really good teacher as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing about coaching. I mean, you'll probably know that yourself. I mean, coaching, it helps you break down, because obviously as like somebody that's getting coached, somebody's
Mhm.
shown you the move, right? So then obviously you're then doing the move, but then if you're then showing someone else the move, you're actually breaking it down bit, so that makes you a
Yeah,
better, not just coach, but a better fighter, a better
yeah.
grappler, or whatever you're doing.
Because it also, as well, if you're trying to explain how to do something, you've really got to think about it, and then it actually makes you think about the details
Yeah,
that are in the technique, and
yeah. Yeah, nah, it's an awesome gym. Really, really good setup you guys have over there. So
yeah,
I'd say I always love coming over. I'll be over again as soon as these shots come. Then I'll be over again. I need to come over as well because obviously Adams keeps saying, "Look, come over. Do you know what I mean? Get some training in and stuff like that." So I'll probably do it. I'll probably make a point of coming over when there's a class on, and then
yeah,
obviously jump in on a class and stuff like that. So it'll be absolutely awesome. My boy, he trains. He started training to get into MMA. So he's been training for a good while. So obviously he's looking to start his amateur career as well, hopefully soon. So
yeah,
it'll be good to bring him over and get some training with you guys as well. So
yeah.
uh,
If there's a few young guys in,
yeah,
probably a bit like your son,
yeah,
is looking to make their debut at some point in the near future.
yeah. They're all savages in Scotland at the moment.
I know.
Absolute savages.
I'm getting tagged off like 15-year-olds.
But that's the thing. I mean, when you first started, do you know what I mean? We talk about the evolution of the game. I mean, the evolution of combat sports in general. I mean, when I first started jiu-jitsu, it was about 2014, and jiu-jitsu has came along massively. And I see it when we go to comps and stuff like that. And again, obviously, from when you first started MMA back in the day to where it is now, it's just a completely different game altogether.
It is a totally different game.
Yeah,
Totally, you
yeah,
can't afford to have any weaknesses or
yeah,
any areas that are because they just get exploited, and you know, it's,
yeah. Yeah. I remember like back in the day, it was always like when you'd go to, because obviously nowadays people always, they talk about eating properly and doing all this and doing all that. And I remember going to competitions and you would have like in the morning, you would have a fried breakfast for dinner. For breakfast, a fried breakfast, and then you
yeah,
would go and weigh in, right? And then you would then be on the mat rolling about. And I heard the same with like Ricky Hatton used to do it, boxing,
yeah,
where he would every single fight he ever had, he would go away and have a fried breakfast in the morning, and then he would be fighting in a few hours' time. Do you know what I mean? So, and it's exactly
yeah,
the same in MMA. Back in the day, you would have guys who would have a couple of beers and all that, and then they would jump in the cage and can get it
yeah,
on. Whereas
yeah.
now, there's a
Well,
lot more
some of
science.
the shows down south are still kind of like that, to be fair. Yeah.
So, what about you then, training wise? So, I mean, how's everything going?
Yeah, no, it's really good. This one's actually went really smoothly as well, especially because we spoke about it before
Yeah,
we came on this, like how long it's been since I last fought. So
yeah,
uh, just working full time as well. It's I just have to basically like fit it in around that.
yeah.
Um, but no, I'm really happy with how things have went this time.
Yeah, yeah. It's difficult as well. I mean, I would say trying to get as much training in as possible, working a full-time job, obviously having people having families and stuff like that, and spending time with families and doing whatnot. Do you know what I mean? So it can
Yeah,
be difficult to manage your time a lot of the time.
The balance, isn't it? And it's
Yeah,
because my wife, she works full time as well.
yeah,
She's a nurse. And like, well, the gym's like, I'm like 45, 50 minutes from the gym as well.
wow, yeah,
So like, it's quite it's quite tiring at times, but you've got to put the work in if you want to get something out of it. So
yeah, yeah. I say that my boy as well. He trains at a higher level, and he drives from. Obviously, we live in Glasgow, so he's about the same. He's about a 45-minute drive to Whitburn, and then obviously back another 45 minutes. So
yeah,
he's doing that obviously every single day, 5,
yeah,
6 days a week. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. I don't know. It's not the worst thing in the world having that drive home as well, though,
Yeah,
because like you have to train, especially if you're finished late or whatever, you've had a long day at work or whatever. It gives you that time to switch off. If you're finished training at 9 o'clock, 9:30 or whatever, and then you're home, you're get something to eat, showered, and then to bed or whatever, and then you end up just lying in bed, like not being able to sleep.
yeah,
But then
yeah,
see if you get that time just to drive home and just switch off a wee bit, I think it makes when you get home, it's a bit more relaxing, I think.
yeah. It
But
must be good as well. Your wife, you mentioned your wife being a nurse. To
yeah.
obviously, if you're coming in and your aches and pains, and she's obviously having to look after you and stuff like
No,
that.
no, no,
So.
no, no, no sympathy. No, no, she's hard as nails. She's harder than any of the guys that I've ever fought anyway. But she, yeah, she works in the theatres as well. So she's an anaesthetics nurse.
Yeah,
So she sees some pretty gruesome stuff. But just with the whole COVID thing and stuff, because she's got high dependency experience.
yeah,
She had to go away back to Dundee and work in the wars down there. So that
yeah,
was a pretty crap time for us. But
yeah.
yeah, she's like I said, she's tough as nails.
Listen, do you know what I mean? Hats off to all the NHS staff for everything
Yeah,
they did over the last couple of years. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah,
my dad, obviously, they're in Dundee. My family are from Dundee, and he had COVID and ended up in the hospital. He was in the hospital like 5, 6 weeks, and there was one night they writ him off. They said, "Look, he'll not make it through the night," and it was actually a nurse sat with him the whole night to
yeah,
make sure he was all right. Do you know what I mean? And here we are 2 years later, he's still kicking about. He's got one leg now because obviously he's
yeah,
paralysed from the waist down because of COVID, and then lost his leg. But do you know what I mean? Hats off to the NHS staff because
yeah. They're
they
amazing.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, what about you then? The fight. So, as we said, 3 years, nearly 3 years since your last one. So,
yeah,
obviously the last couple of years have been horrible. So here we
yeah.
are.
If it's 3 years is a long time to not be fighting, but it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't
Yeah,
feel like I've not fought for 3 years.
yeah,
Like before this fight got matched, I was training consistently for quite a wee while, and
yeah,
that. So I don't feel like it's a long time since I don't think it's going to feel any different.
yeah. People always mention, I always laugh because everybody, and you hear it on like the UFC and like Bellator, other shows, and they always talk about ring rust, right?
Mm,
But then you think to yourself, well, anybody that mentions ring rust, like you always say, well, have you ever been in a gym? Have you ever
yeah,
trained? Have you ever sparred in a gym? Because sparring sessions, as you know, they're not really, do you know what I mean? Just light
they're
sessions. I
not
mean,
playful, no.
no. So ring
Yeah,
rust will never be a shoot.
it's a,
You
it's,
wouldn't
it's,
expect it.
it's almost an excuse, isn't it?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I always
So
laugh when I hear it.
I'll tell you on Sunday night if I've had ring rust or not.
so, how did it go, Scott? Oh, ring rust. What? No, mate.
Didn't go a plan. It's because I've not fought for 3 years.
But it's a
Yeah.
good event as well. I mean, as I said, I think it's quite near you then.
Well, I stay between. Do you know where Auchterarder is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've stayed between there and Creeth, just just in the middle of nowhere, pretty much.
Yeah.
So Dunfermline's like, I don't even think it's I think it's maybe an hour away, maybe.
Right. Okay. So it is a bit of a trek then. Yeah. So
Yeah, but I'm from Stirling originally. That's when I'm from, or Blair Drummond. I
yeah.
was brought up on a farm out there. So
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be good, man. I mean, as they the Goliath, they've definitely put on a good show. I know.
Yeah.
Do
Is
you know
this
what I
their
mean? And
first one? Is this their first show?
first one, I believe, yeah. So,
Right.
so obviously the first one that Steve's put on. So again, with a lot of shows, what they want to do is highlight a lot of their own guys, right? Which is
Of
obviously
course.
what's happened. But again,
Yeah.
that happens with every show. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It
They
does.
usually put on a show to highlight their own guys, and then obviously again with the amount of amateurs in Scotland. As we know, I mean, there's amateurs all over Scotland that
Yeah.
we haven't even seen yet. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's
They need
good
to.
to.
Everyone needs a bit of exposure, you know.
Yes,
So
so obviously
yeah.
Steve putting on a show, and I was talking to Steve as well, and he said, look, obviously the more shows, the better. Do you know what I mean? Because everybody's out there, they're hungry. I say a lot of people, like say yourself, maybe not fought in a few years,
Yeah.
not through any fault of your own, because you'd have been fighting fucking every other week had you had the
Yeah.
chance. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he said obviously having more and more shows. So you've got obviously like that one. You've got I know that Budo were putting on a show, Combat Kings. Evolution of Combat still kicking about. So there's a lot of shows popping up all over the place at the moment, which is
Yeah.
brilliant for obviously Scottish MMA.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. It's good seeing some of the young talent coming through as well.
Yeah, yeah. What about you then? What's next then? So obviously this will be your main focus, Scott. So obviously, what's your plans?
Yeah.
You're not going to retire. I know you said
Of course.
retirement earlier on, but
It's
you're
that
not
old,
retired.
it's that old cliche though, isn't it? It's one step at a time, one fight at a
Yeah, yeah,
time. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know at this point.
yeah,
I've got because work and stuff's so busy at the moment.
yeah,
Because yeah, it's hard to say, you know, and I don't know really what shows and stuff are coming up. I know On Top are doing one in September, but I don't know how their matchmaking is going and stuff like that.
yeah.
I don't know.
I
It's,
forgot to mention on top as well. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned all these other shows, and I forgot to even mention on top. So on top, obviously September the 10th. Obviously, again they're coming back. So obviously, again they've been away for a while. So it'll be
yeah,
good to see on top.
yep,
Forza as well. Obviously,
yeah,
you've been on Forza before, so
yeah,
a lot of shows, a lot of shows.
yeah. It's good to see. It's good that On Top are coming back as well because I think they're, you know, it's one of the more sort of professional outfits and things. But
Yeah,
it's good to see. It's good to see them coming back.
definitely. Definitely. It's going to be an awesome show on top. I won't be there. We're doing a kids comp, jiu-jitsu comp for the UK BJJA over in Trinent. So we'll be
Mhm.
down there. So by the time I come back from Trinent, the on top show will already be halfway through.
Yeah,
So I'll obviously get to miss it. But
yeah,
obviously I'll definitely be catching up on the results and stuff like that anyway. So what about you then? Final thing for you then, Scott. So obviously you've been in the game for a while. As I said at OG, one of the OGs, definitely the old school MMA in Scotland. So,
yeah,
so you've probably trained with a lot of fantastic people over the years.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
anybody you want to shout out to at all?
Uh, Mainly just the guys that I train with just now. To be
Yeah,
honest, definitely shout out to Adam Stevenson. Well, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing it at all. But if
yeah,
yeah, just even after, I probably would have been done with it after my third fight if it wasn't for him. To be honest, because I lost my first 5 fights.
yeah,
That was that was pretty tough to take, and that yeah, that it was really down to him. That's why I stayed with it, and yeah, I've not been anywhere else to any other gym. I've always just trained with Adam. I've been to obviously I've been to Thailand and stuff to do a bit of training, and
yeah,
then more recently I've been to going to different sort of jiu-jitsu gyms and stuff like that.
yeah,
But yeah, mainly thanks to Adam. Obviously Chris for all his um, coaching and helping like that over the years. Uh, yeah, all the guys I train with. Adam Thompson this camp has been phenomenal. Like every day I'll get a message saying what time we're coming in, what time you want in, what you want to do, you want to hold pads, you want to wrestle. This is
yeah.
like before class.
So just waiting on Scott coming back in there. So
Right.
there he is.
Yeah, sorry, that was my wife was phoning me. Probably, probably telling me to get her tea on, but yeah, Joseph Kurt. as well. He's like one of the main guys that I train with as well.
Yeah.
He really pushes me as well. Adam Batley, unfortunately, had a nasty shoulder dislocation a good few weeks ago. He's one of my main training partners as well. But
Yeah.
he was back last. He came back last Sunday. We were sparring. So first session back, he came in for sparring. But he has been keeping fit. He's been lifting weights and stuff, and he's a phenomenal athlete anyway. But he just picked up right where he left off. So it's good to see him back because he's definitely going to go somewhere in the future.
Definitely.
Yeah, basically that's it. All the guys from the gym, all the guys from my work as well for putting up with my crab at this. That as well. Yeah. I think
So you better
that's it.
shout out your wife, mate. You better shout out the wife.
Yeah. I'm not. I'm not one of these toppy guys at all. But you're right. I will shout her out because, yeah, she's one of my kind anyway.
Yeah. Let me ask you. You mentioned obviously the first 5 fights you lost. Obviously the next 5 you won. What was the adjustment? What did you change?
Learned to grapple. Pretty much. No, just take it more seriously.
Yeah.
I just took it more seriously. I thought because it was more like it didn't become about having fights anymore. It became like I had to win.
Yeah.
And it's like I need the monkey off the back. I need the first one because I know I had the ability.
Yeah.
I know, probably definitely at least 3 out of those 5 fights I should have won.
Yeah.
But it's how many fighters you heard saying that. But
Yeah.
So I knew I had it in me to be able to beat guys, and then it was just like once I got the first one, then that was it.
Yeah. Because actually, you went on a tear as you obviously your last 5 fights, because obviously 10 fights in total, 5 and 5.
Yeah.
So obviously that first 5.
There's actually one missing in there. I actually got beat from Kelson Duffy as well. That was
Right.
just before the last fight.
Yeah.
I fought terribly. That was in Art of Combat.
Yeah.
I made a really basic mistake, and he took my back. Finished
Yeah.
it. But yeah.
But actually, definitely been on a tear. On a tear. As he won the last 5, do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you coming out on Sunday again. As I said, I'll be there on the night. So obviously, me and my boy, we're going to be heading over. So coming over, definitely looking forward to seeing a fantastic night. Do you know what I mean? I think we're going to be there. We're going to be there from the beginning because Steve said obviously you're doing the face-offs at 1:30, 2 o'clock ish. Do you know what I mean? So.
Fighters,
So
what do you call them? Fighters parade. You see some. I think it's Forza that do though. That do them. You see some like some random stuff at them.
So we're looking forward to it. I always love the face-offs because, as I say, the face-offs is all about, yeah, do you know what I mean, sizing your opponent up, giving them the up and down, and as you said, we've seen some absolutely hilarious stuff going on at face-offs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
You see the guy at the Forza one that just pulled his trousers down. What? What you did?
So we're going to see the face-off. So we'll see what happens. But as I said, it promised to be a great night, a very, very good night. It's a really good lineup that they've got. And it's a lot of great gyms represented from not
Yeah.
just here in Scotland, obviously north of England and stuff like that as well. So,
Yeah.
so definitely looking forward to it. So guys, we're going to have Scott Drummond. Obviously, the interview got held back because of Chris Duncan, right? But
Happy.
yeah, we're not happy about it,
I should
Chris.
be in my bed right now.
Yeah. Listen, we're not happy about it at all. So, but listen, fair play to Chris. As I say, definitely done
Yeah.
absolute wonders getting that UFC
Yeah.
contract.
I'll let him off. I'll let him off this
We'll
time.
let him off with it this time. So, but yeah, Scott Drummond, Crown and Glory MMA, going to be up against Dan Bainbridge. Going to be this Sunday, 14th of August. That's going to be Goliath Fight Series. So, ticket availability, head over to, as I say, Goliath Fight Series. You'll get the tickets directly from them. And anybody want the pay-per-view, it's £10.99. And again, all the information is on that Goliath Fight Series page. So head over to that and you'll be able to get all the information for that. £10.99 for a pay-per-view is a good price. As in normally about £14.99, 15 quid. So $10.99 is an absolute bargain for some of the fights. There's going to be fireworks on Sunday coming out of Dunfermline. So, well, Scott, it's an absolute pleasure, buddy. Thank you very much for obviously taking the time to speak to me.
Not at all. Thank you very much.
Because you better go and put your wife's dinner on. All right. So,
Yeah, no.
Listen, thanks again, buddy. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Thanks
We'll
again.
see you Sunday.
Cheers then.
Bye-bye.